Today, I'm responding to the article, Mom Says Delta Asks Her to Leave First Class Seat Because Her 9-month-old Baby is Crying, by Dave Quinn, posted January 4, 2017. Ariel Noah Charnas boarded a Delta Airlines flight from New York City to Los Angeles with her husband and 9-month-old baby in Taiwan December 29th. But before they could even take off, Charnas' flight hit some turbulence. Her daughter Ruby, born March 11, 2016, was so overwhelmed she couldn't fall asleep, Charles explained in an Instagram post on Sunday. So, like most sleepy infants, she reacted by screaming, crying. The Southern Navy fashion blogger and her husband had anticipated that Ruby might need some extra space on the 6-hour flight, so they purchased first-class seats so they could lay down with her. But after boarding, Ruby didn't calm down, and her fellow passengers weren't too happy about it. I was getting tons of eye rolls and head shakes, Charnas recalled. As if I could just look at Ruby and say, okay, now it's time to stop. She tried to ignore the frustrated flyers, but 10 minutes later, a flight attendant approached her and her daughter to move to the back of the plane, as first-class passengers were upset and complaining. Give up our seats that we paid for and move, Charnas said. And the people in the back didn't matter. I started crying because I was so stressed and anxious, and instead of the stewardess being helpful and compassionate, she instead made the situation worse. Charles continued, I know it's right and wrong when it comes to flying the baby, but after a few people the story, they were in shock. They certainly were. Charles' post has over 22,000 likes on Instagram, with most of its 1,700 plus commenters expressing outrage for the Delta flight attendants, giving Charles their daughter's support. A Delta Airlines spokesperson told People, Delta flight attendants are trained to provide safe transport and excellent customer service. We fully support all passengers traveling in the class of service for which they paid. This is the second time Delta has found themselves in hot water in recent weeks. On December 21st, YouTube stars Adam Saleh and Slim Albahir claimed they were moved from a Delta flight traveling from London to New York City after passengers complained about them speaking Arabic. Delta Airlines later said the internet sensations were actually removed for disruptive behavior. For what it's worth, Charnas refused to vacate her first-class seats. We walked up and down the aisles, Charles told U.S. Weekly. Finally taking off, Ruby fell asleep on my shoulder and the rest of the flight was a dream. The family flew back to New York on Sunday. No one how Ruby handled that flight. Okay, let's do this from both angles. We'll start in defense of Charnas. First-class tickets are way more expensive than coach. She can't control Ruby's crying. That's nothing. I sat next to a woman whose baby pooped on takeoff. I didn't scream, get this poopy thing off the plane. I just breathed in my mouth for 4 hours. Not pleasant, but I dealt with it. That is way worse than crying. Of course, first-class passengers tend to be more sophisticated and financially, but you're going to hold crying baby against a woman. That's bullshit. She didn't scream, Ruby start crying. How the hell is the woman supposed to get a baby from New York to Los Angeles? A drive would just be a nightmare. It's not her fault a crying baby is not your baby is crying on a plane. It's like the flight goes on forever. Just stop during takeoff. Now, let's look at the other way. As I said, first-class passengers can be way more sophisticated and better off financially. They didn't pay extra to listen to a baby cry for 6 hours. And to avoid walking around the aisles is absurd. And what if she woke up screaming again? The eventual peace might not be permanent. I now invite you to share your response. How do you feel about the topic? Please email me at bipolaropposites119@yahoo.com to let us all know.